What's up, everybody? Josh and Jay back with the podcast. Great to be with you on a Champions League Tuesday night. Here to chop it up. Here to talk about my correct prediction about the 2-1 victory to Chelsea. But before I rub it in, as per usual, let's get your first thoughts, Jay, because you get the first word around here.
This is a fun game. It was exciting. We had some end-to-end action. Chelsea came out active. I loved the approach today. Formation was a little bit of an oddity, but we were attacking. We had a high press. We were winning the ball back, kept a ton of possession, created a lot of chances. These are all a lot of things that we have not seen in recent games from the squad. So thrilled that we came away with a win. Thrilled that we finished on top of our group when the beginning of this was not looking particularly great. And we went away to a stadium that hasn't lost a home game in 40 matches and pulled out a win.
Crazy stat, right? I mean, that's
40 games. I don't care if you play in a shit league. 40 games in a row at home without losing a game. This was a big win tonight.
I mean, and look, we've said it before. We're not stat guys, but that one stands out. Boy, that was incredible. I didn't realize that until I started watching. But that formation was something to see. I think we were both on to something in the sense that we knew there was going to be some changes. I was happy to see Christian and Raheem playing together, not necessarily the way that I thought they would be or anybody really expected. And it was fun to see. I think it's definitely something that was warranted given the opponent, given the circumstance and the need for the result. But I don't think that that's necessarily something that he's going to be marching out in the Premier League. But then again, Graham Potter has proved elusive with his thinking and thoughts on the lineup, which it's kind of fun, a little bit in the sense that nobody really does know what's going on, least of all us. But like to see the personnel, and happy with the win overall.
Yeah, I was shocked when I saw our lineup. Again, a 3-5-2. Again, it's my favorite fantasy Premier League formation.
Yeah.
Get all the midfielders out there, just loaded up. And I was afraid that we have two guys who don't play wing back, and I'm like, listen, the first game we had 72% possession. They're just sitting there, and they did it in the first game. They just absorb pressure. Hopefully we're not letting in goals, and they were going to try to hit us on a counter, and we essentially defended the entire game with three guys. So I was waiting. It did ultimately happen. Now, good on them. It was an amazing goal. That pass was beautiful. But crazy formation. There was good interchange between Connor, who was technically playing in the center. He was floating around all over the place.
You called that. You had him as the number 10, and that was definitely something that you saw coming.
I felt like there were spells of the game. I mean, him and Pooley were interchanging, where Pooley would dive inside, he would go outside. So, we had a very attacking game plan, and I've been waiting to see this. Now, quality of opposition, RB Salzburg is not a bad club. They're obviously well coached. They have a history of bringing in tremendous young talent and developing them. But to your point, I don't think this is necessarily going to fly against Man City and Arsenal, Liverpool, anybody who's going to be able to hit us with this. But for today, it was right. We got the W. Good on Graham Potter.
No, it's good to see him to continue to. I think it's great for the squad that kind of it's a next man up, almost American football mentality from that standpoint, and especially with all the rotation that's going to be required with the back line being thin, and it's definitely going to be every man, all hands on deck. The man who definitely deserves to get a little shout out early today is Mr. Kovacic, I think. I was glad that you picked him in your 11. I'm glad he was there because he doesn't always score, but when he does, he scores ninja samurai goals, which were amazing. I mean, with his off foot, just steering it into the net out of nowhere. I mean, what a Kovacic goal!
I would bet you put his hand on a Bible, I'm going to tell you, I had no intention of that happening. It was like see ball, throw leg it ball, and you hit a worldie. You just hit a pure sidewinder that just, I mean, it just caresses the side of the net. It was beautiful.
It was amazing. And I mean, just, those goals from nothing. I mean, but it was deserved. Obviously, I think the pressure and the turning of the screw, as it were, definitely warranted that. But man, that guy, when he pulls him out of the bag. I don't know how many shots he has in his past 10 appearances, but there's no way it's in double digits. And he's just converting these goals that you write home about. It's like the reason why you remember his goals is because there are so few, but they are so memorable. It's
Oh,
unbelievable.
yeah. Dude, last year against Liverpool, same thing. Just ball just kind of falls into his lap. He's just like, I'm just going to crack this thing, see what happens, and bang.
Well, furthermore, like in the first half, another thing that I kind of had in my notes here was it felt like Mr. Aubameyang he was always a bridesmaid. He was a little late to the party. Didn't quite catch the bouquet. Wasn't converting on some of those chances. I found his first half performance to be a little bit frustrating. I don't know if anything in particular stood out to you, but that was something that I just had, in the back of my mind.
What stood out to me is that we were creating the chances. The passes and the interchange, some of the creativity we've been lacking was there. Yeah, his some of his first touches were off. The finishing wasn't particularly great. I think he'd like to have a couple of those back where he could have either chipped it over the keeper. We got to give that dude some credit, though. He was incredible today. I'm not going to mangle. Is it Philip Cohn?
Oh, he really was good.
He was on his game. He's a young
doubt.
keeper. He's like 24 years old. That guy was insane today. But
that one stop that he had against Alba, down to his right hand side was very impressive. He definitely kept them, in the match today. Credit to him.
Aubameyang, this is what we have him there for. It's like we know that you're not going to drive at somebody. You're not going to make anybody shake in their boots as you're going after him. But when you get good service, you're expecting him to finish. So a little disappointed with him today.
Absolutely. Well, so then turning the page, then going into halftime, 1-0 up, feeling good. Like the mannerisms of the boys, like the body language. Everybody seemed to be, running. Everybody's feeling good about their football. Second half, we come out completely flat, giving away a bad foul, messy free kicks, and then, 3 minutes in, we're getting gutted. Credit to Adamu. Definitely a great finish. Well-deserved goal. Chelsea, not an acceptable start to the second half.
I was concerned at halftime because there's something that has to go into your mindset where you've had as many chances as we had. You were just dominating the game. You had total possession, and you were only walking in 1-0. And although we scored early in the second half in the first game, if somewhere in the back of your mind you got to be thinking about that these guys, and particularly with the way that we were playing, you got three guys in the back. You have our wingbacks weren't wingbacks; they were additional, midfielders playing forward. They were all the way up the field, and we were leaving it up to Chalobah, Silva, and Cucurella to get the ball out and to get it in there deep. So it almost felt like it was a matter of time, like they were just lying in wait to hit us with something. And as aggressive as we were trying to win back possession, Thiago Silva is human. The guy, he went up, he made a decisive move, he misjudged it a little bit, and then all of a sudden we're on the break. Our wingbacks were too far up the field because that's the way we were playing. Nobody had a chance to backtrack. And if Adamu doesn't score that, I don't know what the guy's name was. There was a player right behind him and no coverage on that side of the field. So one of the two of them were getting that ball in the net. The pass was gorgeous. The finish was great. It was a nice goal. So just credit to RB for hitting us where we were vulnerable.
Yeah, and I mean, Potter in that moment, I'm just thinking to myself, God, if I'm the manager, it's all those missed chances. But that's that's where my head goes. But luckily, the boys showed the backbone and the composure. Move a little further into the game. Obviously, we had a fantastic moment of brilliance from the silky German, which has been long awaited. A gold dust moment from nearly nothing. I did note that I think Pulisic definitely got the assist. He had like three guys around him and was able to lay it off and create some space for Kai. And what a finish! It was just completely sublime. All of the superlatives, and God, you'd love to see efforts like that from the guy a bit more often. But we'll certainly take him when we get him. What a goal! What a goal!
Yeah, he's an enigma. We've given him a lot of heat on here. Everybody's been giving him heat. And first half, I felt it was a lot more of the same. He had that one opportunity on the header. He did what he was supposed to do. He headed it low. You could see he was frustrated. He kicks the post. Just nothing breaking my way. And I don't know I don't know what's been going on with Kai, right? We've been talking about this on every cast. I don't know if he's not getting laid. I don't know if his dog died. Like, there's something wrong with him. Like, he seems distracted. He seems not interested. No passion, no pep, no intensity. And the way I saw this, so yeah, Pooley gets the ball. He drives inside, creates some space, lays it off. And I almost feel like Kai's sitting there. He's like, fuck it. And just Big Berthed that. Wundergoal just drills it, hits the crossbar, back of the net. And good on him, man. He needed this. It's a big goal away, Champions League. So hopefully this starts to give him a little bit of confidence as we're moving forward. We can get him back incorporated into the team wherever we're ultimately going to play him. But this was a big goal.
And for the record, America is Blue loves Kai Havertz. The silky German, he's just what we need.
Tough.
He's in Chelsea.
We can have some tough love. We can have some tough love.
I mean, no, of course. But we hope Kai's doing well. If he's going through something, we hope that he's doing well. So great to see him back on the score sheet. Closing the game out. Couple of my other thoughts. Just Kepa made another huge save. He did not play his best today. Clearly, sometimes with those punches, I was like, "What are we doing here?" That was kind of some old school Kepa moves. I kind of thought he was past this. I really would have. I was actually disappointed in his lack of physicality because we just kind of were praising him last time we were talking about how he's improved so much in that area. But today he seemed a little bit hesitant, not as strong in the box. A couple of those punches were giving me agita. But also Trevor didn't play his best game either. Everybody's gonna have some moments. He mishit a few balls. I remember him cueing a pretty bad corner. There were a few things, but it was still a professional performance. A lot of these things aren't going to go your way. It was certainly workmanlike in the second half, short of the goal. Definitely appreciate the composure coming back and having the professionalism to finish it off. But it was certainly a performance that warranted some concern as we also move further into the Premier League schedule and our opponents become more difficult.
I'll disagree with you there. I mean, I know the play you're talking about with Trevor. He just sliced it out and just mishit it. I thought Thiago Silva were great today. I thought both of them were great. They both had one noticeable error that at least I picked up. Cucurella, I thought, was average, right? There was nothing spectacular. He also didn't make any heinous mistakes playing as a left center back. So
he's still a little tough on the ticker, especially as the third center back.
I don't feel very confident or comfortable with him back there. But I thought Trevor played really well. I thought he was strong. I thought Thiago Silva was great. I love the play in the second half where he saw that. I think he identified that a Red Bull player was going to get his head on the ball, and instead of charging up, went back and cleared that ball off the line. I mean, that's a classic Thiago Silva, game-saving play. So I thought those two guys were both great. I thought Conor Gallagher was great again. I thought that as far as the rest of our midfield was concerned, obviously we already gave Kova his due. I also thought Jorginho did what we expect Jorginho to do. This is a Jorginho game where you just want somebody who's going to be able to keep things measured, keep control of the game. Again, nothing sexy. He almost had a header. He almost actually scored a header, which would have been amazing if he actually got that in. But
Well, did you see his team effort at the end of the second half, or excuse me, at the end of the first half? We were making a move towards, and it fell right at his feet, and he had an opportunity, and he looked at the goalkeeper like he was in a passing drill. He's like, here you go,
oh
pal,
yeah,
and
just duffed
just
it.
have it.
Yeah,
And I felt terrible for him, but I said, if I was a goaltender, if there's any guy I want that ball falling to, it's Jorginho right
oh yeah,
there. And
oh yeah.
I love Georgie. We love him on the cast. I apologize to Georgie. Sometimes we pick on him a little bit, but you know, let's talk about the big moments, the big man of the match, which is also brought to you by All Out Fitness. And at All Out Fitness, they're empowering individuals to be their best selves. Jay, who is the best version of themselves today?
I may surprise you here. I don't know. I'm giving it to Philip Kuhn, whatever his name was. I'm giving it to the keeper for RB Salzburg. I thought that guy was exceptional today. He made so many big saves. They were the ones where he just closed out, he got his body in the way, but he made so many big saves. And with the amount of pressure that we were putting on their net, for him to put up the type of performance that he put up, I think hopefully we don't have to be giving too many man of the matches awards to opposition, but I think he deserved it today.
I mean, that's fantastic, and I appreciate you doing that. I am going in a different direction. I am actually giving it to the man in the moment of the match, and it's Kai Havertz. Hopefully that this helps him shake this off. I thought about giving it to Kovacic. He only played 60 minutes today. Kai put in an entire shift. He had a worldy moment, and it was the difference in the game. And I think if you're doing something that's outstanding in that sense, that's truly making the difference. He deserves that. The other thing that I will say is underrated about Kai Havertz, which I had to make mention of as well, is he's excellent at defending corners. He stands right in front of Kepa. He is, he's a big guy. That sort of thing is not lost on me. And today he had some really, nice defensive work. We had a lot of corners today, and he was working his tail off, doing the little things, which I did notice in that aspect of the game. So kudos to him. I'm giving mine to Kai Havertz.
He was my second choice. I couldn't look past the keeper. That guy he was incredible today.
No, he really was. Testament to what Salzburg is doing as a system. As we know, the American Brendan Aronson came through there, Philadelphia Union, then going over to Salzburg. Now he's finding some success in the Premier League at Leeds. So they've got some connections to our homegrown talent as well.
Yeah.
So, no, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, rolling back the clock just a little bit, I was a little bit scared when they brought on. I like Benjamin Sesko. When they brought that kid on, he's going to be special somewhere. I don't know if he's going to be the next really big thing, but that guy, I don't understand why they didn't start him, because I think he's an exceptional talent for that team. And when he came on in the 60th minute, obviously the complexity of the game had changed. They had gone ahead and they'd scored their equalizer, and they were like, we're sending full force. We're getting attackers on the field. We're going to go after this game. And thankfully for the Kai Havertz goal, it shifted the momentum back in our favor. But he was making some things happen up there, and then we were just hit with a barrage toward the end of the game. So I want to give a little bit of kudos to another guy in the opposition, because I think that guy's going to be a really, really special talent in Europe at some point.
Work rate too, right? I mean, just getting on and working hard, running, that's always what stands out to me. I love the guys that work. So yeah. No, those are two excellent points. So I mean, as we're looking ahead now, we have a Premier League matchup this weekend on Saturday, away on the south coast of Brighton. The Gulls are Graham Potter's former team, interestingly enough, as we all know. Um, going to be a good one this weekend. Do you want to hear the breakdown on Brighton real quick?
Yeah, hit me with the stats.
All right. They're sitting ninth right now. 15 points from a possible 33. They're led by one Mr. Trossard, who is fantastic. He is excellent. And I didn't realize he's got 6 goals. He's bagged 6. That's no small feat. And they have McAllister with 4. And then on the facilitation side, they have Solly March and the ever youthful Danny Welbeck. 2 assists. I mean, how the hell is Danny Welbeck there? He is his favorite song's got to be like Rod Stewart, Forever Young, or something like that. We gotta get a shout out to Rod Stewart. And they're coming off a 0-0 draw to Forest and a 3-1 loss at City. So it's going to be interesting to see what we can come up with this weekend against his former club.
I'm confident. I'm confident going into that game. I always have this thing where when you take a manager from, and this is even more dramatic because it's mid-season. It was only a couple of games ago that he was the one that was shepherding that club. Who knows more about their players than he does? He's crafted that team in his own image. So I think we even saw it today. He's played Trossard as a wingback when he's had to. And I think he tried to almost recreate that with Pulisic and Sterling today. They do have talent. They started off the year gangbusters. They were playing an amazing brand of football. I think since Potter has left, they've fallen off the pace quite a bit. They've been having a hard time putting goals in the net. They do have some threats. Even a guy like a Lewis Dunk, who's a very large man who can come up and do some things on set pieces and corners. I just think that, listen, maybe a little bit of momentum coming in. We know a lot about that team. They're struggling. I think that we're going to put up a pretty nice performance.
I got it. Oh, and actually, I did want to mention this too. Hopefully, shouts out to Thiago Silva as well. After that fall, which I thought, I looked at that thing a billion times. I was like, God, this guy was like just inches away from like breaking his neck. I mean, that was bad. I have no idea how he finished the game.
He's a freak. He's a freak.
I mean, it's unbelievable. That guy's got a family to think about, and he's won everything. Did
you see him when he got back on the field? I don't know if it was Potter or whoever he was talking to. Somebody was like, "Are you okay? Do we need to get you off of here? We could just throw in a body." And he was just like, "No, I'm finishing. I'm seeing this one through. I'm good. Good. Who needs a neck?
Unbelievable testament to him. No, but I hope he gets a rest this weekend. So when we get back together on Thursday night to preview the game, Jay and I'll come back with what our thoughts are on the 11 and the formation. But for the time being, we certainly appreciate everybody jumping on, giving us a listen. We appreciate all the support. America is indeed blue. Jay, we'll talk to you on the next time. Thanks, man.
See ya.